get up on the chair there. He used to call her Gump's daughter. You don't know, remember that?
Gump's daughter. I've heard that, yes.
Gump's daughter. Gump's daughter from Georgeville. My God, he was funny. I know he'd come home in the night, Lorraine be around. He'd grab a hold of Lorraine, he'd just put her up to the ceiling. And you'd be running after him looking for a border.
Border, yeah.
He used to go to work in the morning. You'd be up with him.
Up having eggs with him.
Every morning.
Every morning at 5:30.
You'd be up with him, the others would be asleep.
And then I go back to bed and I get up again at 8 and have breakfast again.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I remember that. That's something that's I did so much.
I remember that night before that Isabella went in town to get. She was going to up to Sarnia.
To Sarnia for her brother's funeral. Yeah.
So she took stuff into Huey's wife. What's her name? Betty.
Betty.
Stuff, clothes or something, or shoes that she was taking into Betty. She was going to, and Jackie. For I and Dan are there alone. For I know the show's on. Mr. Heikel and Mr. Heikel, that queer show. That was a show on. We were watching the show there, the two of us. And who come barging in but John Sullivan? I remember that.
John Sullivan.
Yeah, I think that was not the day he wanted Dan driving down to Goshen or something. He was loaded. But that's what we were watching. Then Isabel come home, and then after a while, the next morning they struck out. It was cold, what a cold morning they left that morning. I was there with you fellas. I remember you had Dan out starting the car. Isabel took the car and he had the queer fellow truck, Douglas truck.
Yeah.
For now, Dan poked his head back in the door when he was going. He said, don't forget, but to flip the toilet twice. You know, when
yes.
When they left the door, he said, don't forget to tip it twice. And I'd be back Friday. He was coming back anyway. So I was there with the little ones. They're in bed in the storm, and word came there's going to be no school. There's going to be no school to storm. And you fellas that got up, you were running around in your pajamas. I didn't bother. We weren't going to school. First thing the telephone rang was Father Chisholm. I want to talk to Isabel. And I told her where Isabel went. And he didn't know a word about Gordon dying. I said, no, her brother died, Gordon. And that she gone up, oh. And she was so sympathetic. And then he said, I'll be over after, he said. Well, I couldn't understand what he meant by that, really. Where I told him about the boy. Then I said, anyway, what happened an hour afterwards, I said, oh my God, it was cold and blown. I could see him, he's about 7 feet tall, he was then. I could see him coming in, walking up towards Dan's home there. And I know his old coat was flapping in the wind. He went in Huey Chisholm's, Huey McPherson's. The daddy was there too. He had come up the night before. For he was laying off on the couch there. First thing Father Chisholm come across, he'd been in the front door there. My God, the person was kind of fluttering around, seeing the priest coming in, just kind of shooing the kids around, although the first thing he told us is, the Christmas tree was up, the presents under it. But the night before he stayed at Rose's, and Rose said that he and Gary went out to Kmart, out in Gary's truck. He said, I won't take the truck, something would happen. So Gary was staying with Rose. And all the stuff he had bought. Well, that morning Rose said before he left, everybody went to work. He was sitting on the stairs there at Rose's. What was this you got? This for Ippy. He always called her Ippy, He got this and he got that and all this stuff. He was taking home. This is going to be a surprise for her. And anyway, Dan left. For the cars down the foot of the hill, parked in somewhere. He couldn't park on the street. For she hollered at him to fasten his coat. He was going with his jacket wide open. He took off down the hill bareheaded. And so while he was gone, she wrote a letter to me, telling about the great visit that he had up and everything like that. Then the telephone rang. He was supposed to call when he got to Truro, see. So sure enough, the telephone rang and she jumped to the phone to talk to him. His Father Chisholm. Brother Chisholm called. He called from your place. I was there. All I could hear him saying, Rose, Rose. Rose couldn't talk though. She couldn't. What news to come to her? He was there all night. Had their breakfast that morning. He said that night going up, and we were going to bed, he was making big farts and everything, you know. That was the worst thing that ever happened.
You were lucky to know him. You got to know him.
What?
You were lucky to know him. He was 39 years old.
Yeah, I know, but don't
I didn't know him. I wasn't even 6 yet when he died. So that's the way I look at it. Is I really wish I had the chance to get to know him.
For I remember
something I never really
I
had.
remember you used to say afterwards, you'd be down, come down, you're only a little fella. All you say, that old blizzard. That old blizzard. That's the way what you used to say. And I don't know, a person lived through that. I don't know. I didn't. I think it'd be so different if he was living. I wouldn't be stuck up here on top of a hill on an old trailer. I know that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No. But every time he'd come home, when I'd be down home in Caledonia, he'd come up. Whenever he'd come home, he'd always call me up. Don't know what you missed. Well, my mother died when I was 6. That was worse. Your mother was gone. No, there's nothing worse. Death anyway.
It was hard on her, on Mum. I couldn't imagine being at my brother's funeral.
Well, she come home from her brother's funeral. And here was the word ahead of her that her husband was killed, not sick or in an accident. He was dead. For they all come down that night together. Marion, Hughie, and them, and Isabel was with them. They all came on the same flight. And my God, storming. I think she had her own car up at the Greer place. Jackie and them bunch of them. But then I don't know, Hughie hired a taxi for the rest of them. But my God, it's awful words. That's the life for you, so you want to enjoy it while you can, boy. Enjoy your little boy.
Oh, well, I do.
Yeah. Enjoy him. And he'll remember you. Whatever, whenever. I don't know why some have it so grim, a mojo. I don't know. Then Hughie had to go right in front of my face on the floor. That was awful. I couldn't believe it. Yet I didn't believe it till John Mackley called up and went in the ambulance with him. And I still I had hopes that, John called up and said, no, he's dead. What a word, dead. Terrible, terrible. Sad.
Yeah.
But still a person, I was strong, thank God.
Yeah.
He gave me strength. And then to turn around and take Hughie, that's, ooh. It's very, very sad.